Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Behind the Curtain, where we go behind the scenes on the feature film The Good People of Orphan Ridge. Today, I am joined by our amazing director of photography, Jaren Lewis.
Hello,
Jaren, thanks
hello.
for thanks for hanging out with me for a few minutes.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
So when Matt and I were talking about this project, we knew because of budgetary concerns and the talent of the students that we were going to use mostly current students as crew. But one thing that I said as producer, I was like, we can do that, but we have to have a really amazing DP. That's the person that's over all the visuals and over the mechanics and the actual equipment, all that stuff. And so we threw around a few names, and as soon as Jaren's name came up, because Jaren was a recent alum, I was like, yes, if we can get Jaren, like I'm good to move ahead with the project. How are you first approached? Did I call you? Did Matt call you? How are you first approached with this film?
First off, I'm very touched that that's how you guys felt when you heard my name come up. I remember talking to Matt about this film forever ago. It was when I was still in school. He brought up a script, kind of asking me about fairies and like the Hildefolk, like the hidden people in the walls and stuff, and like talking about generating a story around that. And so, we would have like in passing a conversation about it, and then time would go by, and then like another like he'd ask me another question about it, and eventually we those conversations turned into like coffee meetings and like actually discussing like the possibility of doing a movie. um and I was so excited when I was approached to do the cinematography for this because it was like right after he graduated, and like it was a COVID graduation as well, and so it felt like all the creative endeavors right at the end of the year for me kind of got like stamped out by that. And so it really did feel like a way to jump right back into not just like just like a fun short to film, but like an actual feature. And I was just coming off of my first film that I DP'd, which was They See You, and I was still very green, but I felt like I could at least be like the day to day, like the scheduling and doing like that over and over again. Like I felt like mentally there and ready, and I was just super excited to be a part of it and like work with you and with Matt. Like I was like, I respect you guys so much, and so it was so fun to like be in the room discussing like the creative process about this movie.
Yeah, I'm so happy with how it turned out visually. I think it's gorgeous. I think it's just so engaging, especially for something as low budget as we were working with. What when you and Matt talked, what inspirations visually did you look at? Were there other films? Were there paintings? Like what did you get the distinct look that you got for the film?
Yeah, so Matt does a ton of research, and like he really knows like the aesthetics he wants. And he sent me an artist, Todd Hito, that did like some really, I don't want to describe it as liminal, but I would say very liminal style photography, almost like a haunted house kind of look. Like he'd take pictures of exteriors of houses, and he would be showing me like all this like amazing art from all these artists, and then I'd be like, "Have you seen Monster House?" I'm like, "This is a good aesthetic, even though it's like a 3D film." And so we just kind of had like a back and forth. We actually worked on a lookbook together. He had a whole board of images prepared to show me, and that conversation, like from then talking about the ideas of the characters, turned into like how we can like show this and like portray all the fantastical elements in such a fantastical movie. Like we got all sorts of stuff happening in this film, and when we were like discussing it all, like the details and the colors and stuff, like the thing that I noticed most in the board is like it was just a lot of color, a lot of like just really fantastical elements, and you can see that in the character designs. Like you can see where all of it came from, really. And that's one of my favorite things after doing a movie is when you go back to the like storyboards, the shot list, you look at the little lookbooks you've made, and you go, yeah, we kind of nailed it, like we did it. And just those conversations are always so fun.
Absolutely. And one thing I would say too, like we used purposely very little. I don't think we used any CGI in this. I mean, this is a spooky horror-ish
Yeah.
comedy with fairies and monsters and like no CGI. So like we put a lot of pressure on, or that decision put a lot of pressure on the production design team. Obviously, they actually have to
Yeah,
make
they killed it.
characters and create. They did amazing creatures that really are visually striking. But it also put a lot of weight on you. I mean, my one of my favorite scenes. There's it's really unsettling. It's really creepy, but it's so much the lighting. Like it's that conversation where Leon signs the contract. It's actually up on the this YouTube channel. You can watch
Yeah.
the clip. But like I realized that like you used lights in a really creative way to add uh an odd feel, but also to add an intimidating, also to add a creepy kind of horror-esque feel. Like so much of what is actually intensity that leads to the more scary elements is just you. Did you find that daunting to have to like because you knew like the CGI is not coming to save anything. Like it's gonna be you and your lights. How did you do that?
I think there was a moment when we were filming that Matt said to me, he said this movie became a lot scarier once you got involved, like scarier looking, I guess.
Yes.
And I think that was also, you know, again, I'm coming off the heels of like another film that I just did that was a scary film. And we had to do like we had nothing but practical effects in that as well, and like just doing a lot of using our lights in our advantage to like, you know, create just like insane imagery as well as like make it scary. Like one of my favorite scenes that we lit was when they're all hiding under the piano. Um, and our red cap is walking through our creepy one of the scariest monster designs I worked with like ever. Like I think that is one of the scariest monsters I've been able to like film, and I'm proud to say that. And he's walking by, we have that creepy shot of the little the statuette as it's going by. I just loved how all that came together because it felt really minimal, but it also just felt like so dark and eerie, and just letting the scene like let the characters and the atmosphere of the room like just speak for itself, you know. And then there's scenes where we do the opposite of subtle, and we say here you are, we're in a music video battle and it's gonna go slow motion and go crazy, which is one of the best practical effects in the film, is Leon spitting the glitter. I thought that was so. I honestly, because we talked about that, and I had no idea how that was gonna. Like, I was like, you know what? I think this is gonna work. Let's see. And I just love that shot, just seeing all the shoot out, because I feel like it would look like we had a VFX artist come in there and do all that stuff, but in reality, it's got freaking just we just got Jack filled with or Jake filled with glitter all in his mouth, and he was just a trooper for that. It's just so funny how it all came together.
And I think that's one of the best parts of working with you too. Like you do really good work, but also your attitude of like, okay, we're gonna put glitter in this person's mouth. We're giving them black contacts. Do you think this is gonna work? And you're like, let's find out. You know, like you just have that attitude of like,
Let's
let's
find
find
out
out.
quick so he doesn't have to keep it in his mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Let's find out quick. But like, I think that is one of the best things about really the whole crew. Like everyone that we worked with, the students, it was this attitude of like, I don't know, but we're doing this thing and we're gonna figure it out. And that the I don't know if you felt this way, but I feel like the attitude with the crew. I mean, we worked long days. I mean, there was a 6 day
Yeah,
stretch over spring break that we shot. Like the attitude, the positivity, the like everyone was game for everything was
yeah.
just really, really special. I have not experienced that on too many sets. What did you think about the so we shot basically the last month, the last weekend of every month, including 6 days over spring break for us, but it was a very spread out shoot. And you've done a number of films now. I mean, you're killing it. You're doing so much cool stuff. Was that
Appreciate
the
that.
first time you'd shot something with that kind of schedule? And do you feel like that allowed us to kind of make some changes as we go and to enhance it, or would you find it more of a difficulty?
I actually, yeah, that was the first time I've done a schedule like that. And I want to say, in some ways, I think it is better because we had chances to look at our footage. We had chances to review like how our cut's going to come out, how this is going to come out, and like what we need to be prepping for next. And the 6 day stretch was, you know, that was daunting for I think everybody involved. But at the same time, the movie's fun, you know, like it's like a fun movie that we're making, and I feel like that was part of the attitude translating on set, is that one, we're all friends, we were all like working together, we all knew each other, and we were all like working hard in our respective aspects to make this like crazy movie together. And so I think everybody had a good attitude because we had it so well delegated, and just also just, you know, it's hard to show up and watch Nathaniel just geek out and run around and not laugh and have fun, and it is just a good time. But I think the schedule, yeah, I think that was actually super helpful. It made sense at the time when we were talking about it to do it like in the split ups, like it was like what, the last weekend of every month.
Mhm.
Um, Part of us, like, you know, obviously the things that we got worried about were, I guess, continuity issues, and you know, if anybody was going to grow a beard in a month or something. But obviously we could shave and work around that, and I don't think we ever had an issue because of our schedule. I think it actually prepped us for fixing issues before they became issues. And I think it actually just, you know, I don't think it killed the energy as much as it just kept it up, you know, because it was like, oh, we're back in this. It's excited to keep going. And I think, yeah, I honestly like thinking about it. part of me doesn't even remember how spaced out some of our shots were and our shoots were. Because to me, it just feels like it all just did run together, I guess. But I realized that it was like what 3 to 4 months of like actual shooting and like on different days and stuff. But I don't know. I really feel like it didn't hinder us much at all, if any. So
Well, I cannot sing your praises enough, and I know so many people when they watch this film, they are going to be doing that as well because it turned out so well. You were amazing to work with. Thank you for chatting with me today.
hey, thank you for having me.
If you're watching this interview, go right now on Amazon Prime, rent and watch The Good People of Orphan Ridge. Rate it, review it. Also, follow us on social media. We just got in the Blue Ridge Film Festival, which is going to be the last weekend of
Nice.
February. We're also hopefully going to have some other festival announcements, other streaming platform announcements. So follow us there, and we will see you next time. Jaren, thanks for joining me.
Thank you so much.